Hello and welcome. I am Suit&Tie, Dip&ChewGuy, and this is an entry onto the Tools of the Trade playlist. This is coming in as bonus content, and we will be looking at another spittoon. I have it in its packaging, the way it came to me. I have been using it now for about a week, and I am thinking that this is a pretty sound product, so expect a positive review. That all said, I will most likely double playlist this, and it will also be in Amazon reviews. I have added this because I think highly of it. I have added this to my Amazon storefront, so the link in the description to my storefront, you want to look under the section that is titled Smokeless. All right. And since it's been a recent ad, it's probably showing as the picture for that section. All right. So this is Tufcup Grenade Edition. All right. And this is how it came to me. I did buy it through Amazon. It is retailing at about $24 and change. So it is slightly elevated, but in this one's case, I think it's worth it. Okay. So it comes in a box, as you can see. Inside the box is the product inside a plastic bag. This is an actual plastic window for the box. The box is actually pretty nice, and I am going to try to zoom in. Obviously, we do not have to zoom in on that side, but I am going to try to zoom in on the other two here, and hopefully I will remember to bring it back out. So you want to pause that now, obviously, if you are so... Okay, so now this is where I remember to bring it back out, and I did. Opening the box up, there is no tape on it. And this is what you have. Obviously, it looks like a World War II issue pineapple grenade. So it is fairly simple construction, but it is rather well thought out construction, and I will go over it. The only thing that is different from when it originally came to me, okay? This ring, which is actually terribly, terribly convenient, was not attached to this. It was tucked into one of these folds when the product came. And I put it on, and it is a bit tough getting it on there. It's one of those circular rings that's really, really tough to pry to get it looped on, and it's looping onto a fairly thick whole piece of plastic. So that was a little tough, and thus the reason why I didn't take it back off to have it exactly the way it came to me. The ring is actually convenient because, number one, it's something to loop a finger through, like so. All right? But I've also found, and see, I'm wearing camo shorts, so I don't want to be like people like, what is he out there playing Army Man? But I wear on my belt loops when I'm working D-rings, and it hooks onto one of them. So you have a silicone rubber bottom, which you're looking at here. Okay, it is expandable. I will show you that. And you have a one-piece top. Now, the lid is a flip open, somewhat like the last spittoon review. That said, this one is not sitting ridiculously high off the top with an ultra heavy hinge aspect. That, and for those who watched the other review, to close the top of that one, I was doing stuff like hitting it with the top of my hand, stuff like that. So this one works well. The only question I have about it is, how will that hold up? Will it take a hit? And I think it will, but it might not take multiple hits. So that is one thing right there. The top is screw off with a gasketed O-ring. So you got the screw on off part, and it does screw pretty deep down into that, as you can see. But there's also the O-ring, which is sort of sealing it up, which is the white silicone you're seeing around the edge there. In the product itself, the part it screws into is a metal collar, which you can probably see just like that, I'm hoping. Okay, so it's screwing down into metal, and then it's sort of locking and tightening up, and definitely being sealed by that white silicone, O-ring. So the thread is sort of wonky, I'd call it, because it's not an exact thin thread. It's a wide wale thread, so you know it's easy to put it on there the wrong way. You want to watch when it's going down. I would normally say something like that's a drawback, but since the thread is so wide, it's so easily corrected, not so much. So you're using this like a bottle. Like for guys that use bottle tops, this is what you're using. I have not tested it because I do not drive, but they are claiming in this form, like this, the product fits in most car cup holders. And looking at the girth of it, I'm going to say that is probably about right. But, and of course I have it filled with sunflower seed shells, so I'm going to have to do this very, very carefully. As you can see, it is about the same at the wide part up here, not at the bottom, because it does get thinner at the bottom. It is about the same size width as a mud jug roadie. So if you have something cup holder wise that fits, oh, my roadie fits perfectly in there, this is going to do that too. And in a collapsed state, although there is play, there's not as much as you may think. Now, if this is seeming somewhat familiar to you, quite a while ago now, I did do a review of something that Hoss304 sent me called a live mug. Live mug. Live mug was an interesting product. It wasn't for me. It was set up and sold as something that could be used for smokeless, but could also be used by pregnant women that are on a bus during morning sickness type deal. They were sort of purposely vague. It had a fold-down system that utilized hard plastic belts to make the folding. This does not have any of that. So in this form right here, it holds 250 milliliters. And you're saying that means absolutely nothing to me. Don't worry, I did the work. That is 8.45 ounces. Okay? And that is a selling point because that is more than basically anything on the market. The problem with funnel products that have funnels, is the funnel takes up room, and because the funnel goes down so far, to get the extra in there, maybe a half an ounce, maybe an ounce, depending on the product, you got to start manipulating the angle you're holding the product at. So for instance, a Mud Jug Classic, which I will always and still swear by, only holds about 7 ounces. So right off the bat, like this is holding an ounce and a half more than a Classic. Now, is the Classic got anything up? Yes, it does. This is not weighted, okay? But to be fair to this, keep in mind, besides Mud Jug Classics, nothing is really weighted. Think about it. So, that is one thing, though. 8.5 ounces is excellent, and this is in the collapsed form. So you pop that open because you have to let air in, and next thing you know, you got that. Now, guys that are big into loose leaf want to take note, because this now holds 580 milliliters. How much is that? That is 19.61 fluid ounces. So basically at this point, at that extended state, you are the size of a convenience store retail single-serve bottle of Pepsi. Only, unlike their clear bottle, nobody's going to see anything. Although they may think you have an explosive, which now that I think about it, depending where you are in the country, you may want to watch. You already have dip in your mouth or chew, okay? They're already looking at you, and now they think you have a grenade. Let's not travel down that path. Anyway, so washing. Now, I do not use, I actually have one in this house, but I do not use it. I have never used it. It is evidently Dishwasher Safe. That is a possible option for you. Otherwise, though, it's very easy to clean. Hot water, basically, and it does react fine with my usual hydrogen peroxide. And if you hear any background noise now, that's because Duncan has decided to get up and stretch, get a drink of water, and otherwise try to steal my attention. So there's that. It washes up fine for me, okay? I would like to get into it a little better. I always do. But really, it's got a wider mouth than my Stealth. So, you know. All in all, I think it looks cool. It feels good in the hand. All right? It's firm yet flexible. I don't see myself using it like this. But that is definitely a selling point if you are into loose leaf. Definitely. And that was the selling point for that live mug thing. Because it I think it held more than this, actually. I can't remember what I said. But it held a ridiculous amount. So, but, I mean, if you can't get the job done with something holding 19.5 ounces, then you might be in the wrong line of work. I don't know what to tell you. So the whole thing is fine. The only question I have about this is this hinged cap. The cap does snap down easy enough, and it's on there pretty tight. There is a flat gasket ring in there. I don't want to call it an O-ring. It's sort of an O-ring, only completely flat. It locks down. I have had no failure on that. So all in all, now, it's your perception as to whether $25 is worth it, okay? But I'll tell you what, there have been some other products that have been around that price, and one or two that have been more than it that were not worth it, okay? So, this has been my review of the Tufcup Grenade Edition. It's available at Amazon, and I guess you could go to Tufcup themselves. I am sure they have a website. I will check the packaging real quick. And I'm not seeing anything off. Wait a minute, hold on here. Tufcup.com is on the top lid. I guess you could check it out there. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I do thank you for watching. I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves. And as always, God bless.